So the logic that you simply just have to follow three easy steps and do these one thing, and then everything's going to work out. It's kind of an interesting story when I think about it, on how the number of people that do this is it's across all domains. And I've seen it in absolutely all domains that you just simply have to follow these three easy steps, whatever those particular three easy steps are, or get rid of this thing, or add this particular thing, this sort of magic trick, and then everything is perfect, right? Um, that story is so universal, and it's so um, widely accepted by so many people that this idea that there's this sort of simple trick and everything is going to work out for you. It's such an interesting story on both sides, right? The tendency of people to do that kind of stuff where they sort of promote this and they knowingly know often that it doesn't work. Or, the more interesting story is the people that actually believe it, on, the ones that are sort of selling these stories and they actually believe it, that you just have to do this one thing and everything is perfect. And then on the other side, the number of people that adopt it. And usually what happens is you adopt that trick. And I've fallen for that stuff too in various aspects of my life where I think, oh, it's just like easy. You just do this, and this, and it all works out, right? Like, that's somewhat human nature to do those kind of things. And then with the sort of more interesting story, or another interesting story, is when you do that, you never talk about it, right? You never talk openly about, oh man, did this thing and it didn't work out. It's always moving on to the next thing. Um, and I've become so skeptical with all of this kind of stuff. You look around, and everybody's trying to have one little trick and one little thing. If you follow this particular individual, then everything is going to sort of be, it's going to resolve itself. It's going to be easy to actually do if you only do these particular things, these six steps, these whatever, right? Often it's called baby steps or whatever, right? Like, all of these kind of things don't reflect reality. They reflect a story of that we really get enticed by, individuals that tell a very nice story, and that's great. The sort of storytelling aspect of things is wonderful. But then we also, I think most of us are very lost. We are uncertain, and that includes myself. We're uncertain about the world, and then we don't know what to do, and so we look for these very easy solutions about what to actually do. And as long as you are telling a very convincing story, as long as you are, maybe you have sort of, it's often storytelling is the sort of trick, right? But you have some good marketing skills or whatever, right? Like, these aspects where it's like close to reality, and the story is usually this, right? It's close to reality that sort of represents you as an individual, and then it's not quite the right story. It's dumbed down, it's simplified, and it just seems easy if you pick these particular things. Um, and that includes like almost all aspects of knowledge, right? This is a broader story that goes on. It's not within a single domain. It's all aspects of knowledge. We simplify and we generalize. So the way that we can actually get a better understanding of the world is we generalize. And in order to generalize dramatically, you have to simplify the story, and you pick out these key aspects that resonate. And it often, through whether, you know, hucksters, that well-known hucksters, know what they're doing. They're sort of picking these things out. But even in scientists, they do the same thing, right? Like that's their job, is to pick out generalities and find the one thing that is universal, and then we sort of tell that story so that people believe this particular story. I think it's, and by the way, science is the same way as storytelling. The whole thing, it's very much storytelling. And I think it's interesting to see how we are dealing with um, the world around us, the complexity, the uncertainty that we actually have, and nobody really wants that, you know, that story that none of us really know what we're doing. None of us are very clear, right? Like we're kind of bumbling around in the dark. And even if you fall for those sort of things, most people, not always, most people fall for it for a couple of years, and then they realize, oof, like this did not work out, and then they sort of find something else. Um, and what I want to sort of suggest is that we don't know what we're doing in general. It's kind of like we're grappling around to things. For me, the only real, and even still, I struggle with it, right? The only real generality that I know is to repeat things over and over and over again to sort of lead to successful outcomes. But this is where I struggle, is that you can repeat things indefinitely and still not do very well at it. And so when you quit, I don't know. That's the thing, right? Like you don't really know what the right answer is. Um, and this is the whole difficulty that we face, is what do we do, right? And we're sort of perplexed as humans, or thinking about what is it that we're supposed to do. And I think the answer is we don't know. And we have to be more in the we have to be more in the okay, with knowing that you don't know. And if you're okay with that, um, you can often do much better, by just simply being okay with not knowing all of the answers, and being just, I honestly don't know, right? We don't know what these right answers are. And often they're not clear. And so we can believe that we know the right things, and we try to come up with the right evidence and all that kind of stuff, but it's often just so painfully unclear, um, that, even somebody that studies a particular domain for a long time can say, we don't know. All right, take care. Have a wonderful day.